Hey team, so today I want to go over the Modern Maker model, but mostly its components, and I'll drop the Modern Maker model video below for you if you want to have a look. But essentially we have Hell Island and we have Heaven Island, right? So on Hell Island we've got a big team, calls 24/7, burnout, follow-ups, outbound, all of the nightmares of our ideal ICP. And then on the right hand side on Heaven Island, we've got no sales calls, no team, no ads, 4 to 6 hours a day of working, and a freedom business. Now the bridge between the two islands, so to go from Hell Island to Heaven Island, is the Modern Maker model. And that is one model with one offer that has two tiers, one-on-one mentorship tier and a group tier, and one community funnel. Now here you see the little stepping stones to get you there, where essentially we use Google Doc offers to validate. So what I do inside my program is I jump on a one-on-one call with every student. We validate our Google Doc offer because we don't need sales calls. We take all the objections, we take the promise, the plan, we map all of that out, we carve out the philosophy of it, and we put it in front of 3 people with some scripts or some content to validate it. Now, once you've gone to, let's say, 2K once, we can then consolidate to do that 2, 3, 4, 10K, whatever the number is, again. And we use Power Writing to consolidate by using these little mechanics called lead to customer and customer to client, which are essentially funnels that I'll talk about in a second. And then once you've got yourself clients, the process of automating them, getting recurring revenue is the final boss, right? So we use weekly recurring revenue, and we use the proximity ladder because there's always people in your audience that are willing to spend more. So that's why the little dollar signs here, like you can have somebody spend 1x with you, but other people willing to spend 2x or even 3x that are already current clients of yours. So now that we've got an idea of how we're getting there, I'll break down the components. So here, what we have is 8 components that bring together the Modern Maker model. So in essence, we've got leads, customers, and clients. In my world, a lead is somebody that has never bought from you, but maybe has interacted, or like is in your funnel, has liked a post, whatever that is. Usually they come, in my world, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, through email. A customer is somebody who buys something off you once or twice or 3 times, but isn't a long-term engagement. And the thing they buy from you could be a resource, a workshop, a digital product, you name it. And then a client is somebody who's working with you long-term, either one-on-one, in close proximity, or in a group setting, or whatever that may be. So the components of the model at high level basically say that Modern Makers power write, so only dream clients can hear us. And dream clients are dogs in this case. That's what I call them, because when we dog whistle, that dog whistle can only be heard by a specific frequency, right? Not everybody needs to hear it. We don't want to go broad. We want to be specific, so only the dogs can hear us. We offer snacks to create customers, and these snacks are essentially recycled assets that could exist in your client program. And then we use docs to turn customers to clients, and we ascend clients into higher tiers through proximity. So I'll talk about these at high level so you get an understanding of the components. So the what versus how principle is where a lot of people go wrong, is they give a lot of that how away, right? So we don't want to give the how, we want to give the what, withhold the how, so they need you right now. So that's the mistake that people make in their content. Now, to put it simply, if I've got grandma's recipe, right? It could be cheesecake. Everybody gives away the how and says, like, here are the ingredients, this is what shop you need to go to, here's how many tablespoons, and yada yada. But if I tell you what you need to do without giving you the ingredients and how I felt, for example, being there at grandma's, then you want the recipe. So I can say I went to grandma's house. We had such a lovely time. The cheesecake was awesome. I'm telling you what happened, but I'm withholding the how. And the only way to get the recipe is through essentially contacting me, right? To give it to you. So this is the what versus how sort of principle. I won't dive deep in it, but try that in your content and see what happens. Now, the other side of it is dog whistling, right? Like, I have a concept called power writing where we build relevance, resonance, and intimacy with our dogs, right? Like the people who want our offers, that want our help. So again, where a lot of people go wrong is they speak very broadly to an audience, right? You always hear, top 10 chat GPT prompts, the best fonts for you to download and this and that, or here's my trip to Bali and me eating noodles. And they wonder why people don't buy. So they don't have a lead gen problem, they have a messaging problem. So dog whistling is more about identifying who you speak to, not what you say, and actually then giving them that what that resonates. So when we dog whistle, if I say how to get clients, that's broad. If I say how to get your first client, I am dog whistling to somebody who is essentially a beginner. If I say how to get clients without sales calls, now I'm talking to somebody a little more advanced. So that's a dog whistle at high level. Then the snack cartel happens on email where we want to essentially convert a lead to a customer. So instead of like nurturing someone through a long-winded email course and all of that, we run them through, I've simply called it the snack cartel because we are taking resources from our client program or service and we're like putting a price tag on it to create a customer. So with the email snack cartel, it's binary. It's either a yes or a no. There's no maybe in between. And what we're doing is offering assets that are super valuable, that hurt to sell at a low ticket price in order to shift that lead to make them into a customer by checking their buyer intent. Maybe somebody's intention is, I'll give you $1, I'll give you $7, I'll give you $100. And that automatically shows us that this person has an intention, right? And we can help them. And I've marked down the lead to customer kit because that is a sequence of emails and posts that I use inside Modern Maker to convert those leads to customers by using, true scarcity and true urgency, right? Like if I'm hosting a workshop, for example, and it's next Tuesday, well, there has to be some real urgency. You can't get the replay unless you become a customer because the workshop is on Tuesday. So you have to come, right? That's just an example. And that lead to customer kit essentially targets all objections to pre-sell somebody by tackling the 5 fundamental objections, which are time, identity, money, energy, and reputation. And once you dial those in, that's where people go from like, let me think about it to send me the invoice. And then we use the customers to clients kit to convert a customer into a client, whether it's from a digital product, a resource, a workshop, into a client offer. And that is a different set of posts because higher ticket people need a different way of thinking, right? Like if I am short-sighted, I need that scarcity and that urgency. But if I am long-sighted, then there's a different psychological way to paint the picture for somebody. Like you want them to buy the commitment and then sell the transformation. And I've also got Google Docs here marked when we're converting customers to clients because if a Google Doc has a clear promise and a clear plan, then you don't need the sales call to make that convert. And a lot of people go wrong by, having countless features and millions of calls and like stacking value, as they say. But essentially all you need is the right components of an offer in order for it to convert. And we can show a small pool of customers a Google Doc offer to ascend them into high ticket, right? And in my world, like I've got 43,000 followers in the present moment on LinkedIn and an email list of 4,000. But my pool of customers is about 280 to 300 customers, right? Which, if my math is right, is like 0.7% of my audience, right? And then of those customers, only 0.1% of that customer audience, which is like 50 to 60 people, are clients. And that's all you need to build a multi 6 to 7 figure business. Now, when we get to weekly pricing, the reason I use weekly pricing is because we want to increase the velocity of cash, the velocity or the volume of clients that come in. And we also want to increase the cash flow. So I think about 20 to 30% of people who don't use weekly pricing are leaving money on the table, because in a subscription world nowadays, it's easier to say yes to something immediately today and deal with the ascension later. So we use weekly pricing inside Modern Maker within that Google Doc offer to get somebody in to say yes today. And then we use the proximity ladder, which is essentially a mechanism or a series of conversations and other Google Docs in order to ascend somebody from the lower ticket core offer into a higher ticket or an ultra high ticket offer. So I've sold offers between 5K to 30K by doing inwards marketing, internally instead of external marketing, which happens over here, which is convention, right? Like you can market to a pool of clients the same way you can market to a pool of customers without having to market externally to a pool of leads. And the proximity ladder is simply an invitation that allows somebody to be closer in proximity to you and pay more money. And there's always people willing to spend 2 to 3 more times to be in closer proximity. So in my case, for example, I might have a group coaching program, and then the proximity ladder sends them into a one-on-one consultation or a deep dive. And then the ultra high ticket is like equity and partnership deals, but I won't get into that today. So in essence, these are the 8 components of the Modern Maker model. So basically we power write, so only dream clients or dogs can hear us. A copywriting framework to show the what, not the how, so they need you right now. A set of fundamentals to build relevance, resonance, and intimacy for these dogs or dream clients. Then we offer snacks to create once-off repeat customers, and that's a funnel that turns leads to customers effortlessly by recycling existing digital products or workshops. And then we use docs to turn customers to clients. And that's a phoneless sales framework that uses conversations and content to put our doc in front of dream clients to say yes or no to. And then we ascend clients into higher tiers through proximity. So a simple ascension for clients that want to spend more to be in closer proximity to us using weekly pricing. So that's the model. Hope it was useful. And if you have any thoughts or comments, you can throw them below. Power to you.